Hi Gemini, how's everybody doing? Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. If you had been waiting for a moment of clarity, it looks like that is coming through for you. There's even some sort of like special help that you're going to be getting. I'm seeing that this can come in many different forms. Like it can be a person, it can be a thought, it can be a guide. Also, when I was meditating too, I was getting something about like doing something creative, maybe even something artistic. Maybe your interest has been piqued in something. I'm even seeing games, like maybe you're having a get together or there's like an activity that you're enjoying, a pastime even. I'm hearing direct message. I'm looking at you and some other people here. It looks like there are feelings that you're having about something that are maybe like coming to the forefront now. You can even be having an exchange with someone and being like, yeah, this is what I felt like, and like they're telling you how they feel. It's something about like work or a collaboration, something like that. And it looks also like something that you moved away from. I'm seeing like potentially a group of people or a project or a collaboration or a job, something like that. So you move away from it. Maybe even people that were involved in something because you're feeling too stressed out. So it was time for a change, time for a switch up. Even though you know that you're moving on and like to a better place, at times you may still be having like some stress that you're experiencing through the transition is what it seems like. It's like, you know, you're in the boat, you know, you're getting to like the land across the way, but the seas are kind of rocky sometimes. It also looks like you're honoring yourself with something here and like honoring your emotional experience. Maybe that's something that you're also putting more of an emphasis on. It looks like there's a challenge that you're facing, but I'm seeing that you are going to prevail here within this situation. You may be challenged because you're doing things your own way. Like, I'm seeing you even feel confident about something that you're doing. You're doing it for yourself. You feel good about it. And I'm seeing that, like, maybe that's the reason that you're, like, coming up against something. Like, facing some sort of obstacle. But I'm seeing you get to a point where you make a choice about it. You're making a strong choice, but that does not mean that it's easy. Like, I'm seeing something that you're doing and you're like, I'm empowering myself by doing this, but I'm also seeing that, like, it's also kind of stressful. Like, you may be worried about this. There may just be, like, emotional or mental weight that comes with doing this. Like, I'm getting this sense of, like, you know this is right for you. Like, you know your intentions. Like, you're addressing this with the correct intentions. But there's, like, also something that's looming a bit. For some reason, I feel like you could have been working with somebody and, like, they wanted to bring up how they were feeling about something, but maybe you, like, couldn't hold space at that time, or, like, maybe something about the way that a situation was unfolding. I'm seeing you be like, I need to move away from this, and I'm seeing there, like, be stress involved in that. And I'm seeing too, you, like, also face a challenge, but rather than shying away from it, I'm seeing you, like, really step to the plate here. Now we're looking at the King of Pentacles. Seeing Pluto and Venus here next to one another. You could have felt like the place that you were in before, you felt good with it, but maybe there were, like, other things that you wanted to cultivate or explore within yourself. Like, this is a very creative energy. It has a lot of ideas. It's very original, and maybe it's something that, like, you're able to tap into now that you felt like you couldn't express before, or you couldn't explore before with what you were doing. Like, maybe an environment that you were in, you felt in some way limited by that. And I'm seeing, like, you felt challenged, and I'm seeing you, like, make a decision about it. And it's something that, like, leans towards your empowerment and, like, self-exploration and creativity. For some of you, this can definitely be related to a job with the King of Pentacles here. Your, like, finances. I'm seeing more creativity being brought into something. I'm also seeing a more masculine energy here. Like, there's a transition of, like, maybe right now you're being called to take more action than you had been before. Like, maybe you're going and getting things that before you could have been, like, within an environment where you were meant to just interact with your environment, and now it's like you're meant to be making things happen. And I'm seeing, like, emotionally you feel more of a sense of fulfillment because of what you're pursuing, what you're involving yourself in, how you're doing things. It does feel like a part of yourself that wasn't being exercised before, that's now being exercised. Yeah, it looks like you made a choice related to your fulfillment and your happiness. And it also looks like there's something that you have to wait for, too. Something about the timing here with the Wheel of Fortune. It also seems like there was something that you had been involved with. This may not just be you and one other person, it could be you and multiple other people. Because I'm seeing both the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles, and then I'm seeing a collaboration, and it's like somebody may have contacted you or like reached out to you in some way, and like you were figuring something out with these people, and there was some sort of challenge for you to have to step up and take action. And I'm seeing you make the choice to move away from something because you were thinking about like your happiness and like where you were emotionally. There's something that is expanding, but there are also other things that are tied to this. Let's see more what's going on here. It even looks like maybe something was getting a bit difficult for you, but because you're doing what you need to do here, things end up turning in your favor. Like maybe there's more pressure or there's more being asked of you with what you're doing, but I'm seeing you can definitely handle that. And this can even be like an expectation that you have of yourself. Here you are. Pluto, Venus, and Jupiter in that last spread. It looks like so many different decisions are being made. There's something going on where you may feel conflicted, and that is going to tell you something that you need to know. I'm seeing you here. I'm seeing like something that you're weighing your options with. This can be related to a goal, finances, your sense of security, something that you're reaching for, even stability. But there's also some type of conflict. And I'm seeing this be important to pay attention to. It looks too like you may not know, you may need more time to figure out how something is going to go. Like you may not be able to tell yet. You could be trying to judge something and figure it out, but you don't have enough information or like you haven't been doing it long enough. There's even a question of values here. It can even be feeling a sense of return on something that like you've been investing in. Because with reciprocity, it's like maybe you put in like a work or energy or resources into something and you're waiting to see like if you're going to see that returned, but I'm seeing it's something that you have to like be patient with because you wouldn't be able to know yet. Something with like either needing more information or needing more time or needing things to progress further. For some of you, this is a relationship. Things could have been oscillating between like feeling stable and then like having arguments and stuff like that. And you could have been feeling like you needed to take your time to find out like if things would be resolved. And it looks like you're getting to a point where like you don't want to wait anymore. This can even be a moment where like you've been waiting for somebody to like treat you right or to show up in the way that you told them you're expecting them to, or something about like your needs or your standards being met. And I'm seeing like something that you've been waiting a long time for and something that was very much in question. And I'm seeing you kind of get tired of being in this space where you're like, when am I going to find out? Like, I'm not seeing anything coming to fruition. Like, nothing has really come of this. And maybe you felt like you weren't really seeing any sort of outcome that would give you information that you needed. So it looks like you walked away from something. Because emotionally it wasn't all there for you. And intuitively you felt that that was what you needed. You following your heart and your passions, that's what's going to help you. I'm hearing something about an inner struggle. When you feel conflicted about something or it's not sitting right with you or like it keeps coming up in your thoughts or like something is kind of bothering you, whatever this is, like this unpleasant feeling of things not feeling like settled or peaceful, it brings a message with it. It carries a message with it that's meant for you to pay attention to. And I'm seeing, even though like it doesn't feel comfortable to be like, yeah, I feel a lot of inner conflict about this, or like I feel uneasy about it, even though it may not be comfortable to experience that, it's helping you. It's helping you to like know what you want to move away from and also what you want to move towards. So always a message within like the emotional and mental experience you're having about what's a right fit for you and what's not. It even seems like maybe there was something that you felt like you really had to fight for, and it's like, why is it that hard for things to be balanced? Why is it so chaotic? Maybe thinking something should be easier than it had been. And I'm seeing this be like a big moment of you taking responsibility for a situation that you're in. And taking action too. Yeah, I'm seeing like so many unknowns here. Like even having mixed feelings about something. If something is creating further confusion or stress or fogginess, don't lean into it further. Like, don't feed it. Don't channel your energy into it. Don't channel more energy into it. because I'm seeing that if you do, it's like that confusion is going to get bigger, or that unknown is going to get bigger. I'm seeing this be something on the emotional front that you're feeling. It even looks like you're starting over. To end with the Death card here, it feels like there's something that you've been involved with that, rather than things feeling clear and you feeling solid and there being like definite yeses and all of that stuff, but it was not feeling like that at all throughout the process. I'm seeing it be a lot of like waiting and seeing and touch and go, and things like never really becoming more clear to you. And I'm seeing you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to further this, I don't want to feed into this more. And so I recognize that I'm going to have to adapt to some sort of change. And maybe that was something that had been being like resisted in a way before, or you weren't ready for it because you were still like trying to see how something was going. And I'm seeing you get to a point where like the Death card has come, so now the transition is happening, the change is happening. It looks too like there's some sort of adjustment period as well. Welcoming, it seems like welcoming change is going to definitely benefit you here. For some of you, this is about a relationship. It's about a connection that you have with somebody. More than anything, I'm seeing that things cannot go on the way that they have been. And if you are not taking action or not making a choice, and you're kind of just like sitting in a situation that you don't feel good about, there's like a question here of you even questioning your abilities or like your effectiveness when it comes to manifesting what you want and making the changes. It's a moment where like maybe you hadn't been believing in yourself, or like maybe not believing in your power. And you could have been like, well, I'm just stuck with this situation, forgetting that you're not. Yeah, looks very much like a relationship. I'm looking at Gemini, Mercury, Scorpio. I'm hearing something about isolation and separation. I'm seeing that you may have been holding on to a perspective that was not benefiting you. connected to like you in a relationship that you have with someone. With Neptune popping out here, this is about shifting your perspective so you can see what's really going on, because there could have been something that you were missing. There could have also been something that you were buying into that wasn't real or it wasn't true, but you wanted it to be. Because with Neptune, there can be a sense of illusion tied in with something. But I'm seeing the more you're like shifting your perspective and the more you're searching for the truth here within this situation, I'm seeing that you find it. It just takes the time for you to think about this thing and like really face it and look behind the curtain. And I'm seeing like you find that clarity that you had been searching for. So you're completing a lesson with the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords can be a negative self-talk space. It can also be somebody around you that, rather than supporting and encouraging you, they kind of disregard you, or like don't validate you, things like that. It's a difficult energy to work with, whether it be within ourselves or somebody that we're interacting with. But I'm seeing like, because of something that was going on, I'm seeing you had been like staying mentally in a space that you didn't feel good about. And it had to do with the relationship that you were in. And something that you were meant to learn for sure from this person. It feels like a moment too where you could have felt like you were in a bit of a ditch, and as much as you wish this person like held out their hand to get you out of there, it's like you can't really rely on them to do that. So you have to find your own way out. And to have Neptune here, it could have been a moment where like maybe you weren't seeing certain things about a person that like you came to understand and recognize, and also see too how that was affecting you mentally. Because it seems like you were in a place where you were dealing with something that was like keeping you stuck in some sort of way, and maybe feeling like helpless and like you couldn't move out of that. So it's something like psychologically that was affecting you. But I'm seeing you make progress with this. Like I'm seeing this be a lesson that you're completing, a chapter that you're completing. With Neptune and Saturn facing each other. Yeah, it looks like it's about self-deception. Which can even mean like glossing over red flags that you're seeing because you wish for things to be a different way. So this is really about you being honest with yourself here. I'm also hearing something about the company that you keep. This can also be about standing up for yourself too. But yeah, I'm seeing something that because Neptune was involved. So the thing with Neptune is that it is a very empathetic energy. It's a very generous energy. it is also one that likes to like see the best in everybody and can be unrealistic at times, and it can be avoidant at times. It's like when things are kind of crashing all around, it's like if I close my eyes and I don't see the things crashing, maybe I can pretend that they're not. So there could have been things going on that like maybe you had been ignoring, and then it got to a point where you couldn't ignore things anymore, and I'm seeing like the veil being lifted and you see something that you needed to see about what you were doing, about like who this person is, what you were getting yourself involved with. So like whatever deception this was, I'm seeing that like you have the truth now. You saw what you needed to see. I am seeing this be a moment where it's difficult to like accept the truth in this situation. It's like now you know, but that doesn't mean that it's like less painful or that it's any less of a disappointment. But I'm also seeing that justice is going to prevail within this situation. Like things universally are going to be made right. And it seems to like this is a step in that direction too. Because whatever this was that you were mixed up in, you were not meant to stay within a state of confusion. I'm hearing isolation again. So yeah, now that you have seen what you needed to see, I'm seeing you get to the point where like maybe there's some mourning, a sense of acceptance, you facing things. And I'm seeing more than anything, like things are beginning to straighten out. I'm hearing that was the point. I'm looking at Saturn, Neptune, Libra. I'm also looking at Cancer on the bottom of the deck. It seems too like this could have been a situation where like you really needed to listen to your gut, and because of like giving that more of a voice, you could have like realized something that you needed to realize, and it helped you like overcome some challenges that you were facing. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.